Hello and namaste. This is Sophie here, back again with another episode for Access Education Network. So, we have a very special guest today. Let's welcome Eleanor, all the way from Australia, representing CSU.
Hi, thanks so much for having me on, Sophie. It's great to be here. My name is Eleanor Mitchell. I'm the Director of Global Engagement at Charles Sturt University in New South Wales, Australia.
Wow. Thank you so much for joining me today.
It's fantastic to be here. Very excited to be on.
Yes. Just want to know brief about you. When did you start this journey?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been working in international education over 15 years, and I've been at Charles Sturt University for the past 4 years. So Charles Sturt University is Australia's largest regional university, and I've been really excited to be leading the international team there for the past 4 years.
Wow, thank you so much. So it's already been 4 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Time flies.
Definitely. So during this your time with the education sector, how has the market for Australia been? How has the scenario changed?
Look, I think particularly for the Nepal market, the past year was quite tumultuous just in terms of visas, and we saw that as did every other Australian provider. But I think what has been really heartening is that there's been really positive visa grants coming through for higher education for Australia, specifically from the Nepal market, and so that student sentiment is getting more positive. They're hearing about their friends and their cousins that are getting visas, and so that sentiment is more strong. I think if we look at Australia as a destination market holistically, it's still the preferred destination for Nepali students. So it's something that in the forefront of a prospective student's mind here. It's Australia. Yep. It's just where in Australia.
True. Yeah, so I've also spoke with a few of my friends who's actually aspiring to study in for abroad study. So their first priority is always Australia.
Good to hear.
Yeah. So talking about Australia, how has Charles Sturt University been here in the Nepalese market? How has the current scenario been?
I think one of the things that we're really proud of at Charles Sturt University is we have over 2,000 Nepali graduates from Charles Sturt University, so we've got a really strong alumni base. I think that means that the CSU brand is known here by prospective international students. And then I think for us, it's really having all of the statistics to demonstrate to potential students that by coming to CSU, they're getting the best chances of that future career. So we really pride ourselves at CSU on being Australia's best value university. And I think that's really important and something that Nepali students and families look at is it's a huge investment to study abroad and go overseas, and we really respect that. And so I think it's the fact that statistically speaking, Charles Sturt University has Australia's best graduate employability. So that means that our graduates are getting jobs faster than graduates at any other Australian public higher education provider. That also is for the past 8 years in a row. So it's not like a one-off thing. It's 8 years in a row that we've been number one. We also have really competitive tuition fees and also generous scholarships. So all those things combined mean that for the money that a family is spending to send their child to study at Charles Sturt, they're getting the best chances of that value, that return on investment, to then have a great career later on.
So talking about CSU, which locations are they located, and can you please talk more about the campuses?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we talk about New South Wales, it's a huge state. Probably most of you have heard of Sydney, which is the biggest city in New South Wales. Charles Sturt University has all of our main campuses in regional New South Wales. So we have campuses in Albury-Wodonga, Wagga Wagga, Bathurst, Orange, Dubbo, and the gorgeous coastal location of Port Macquarie. So each of these have a full campus. So we're talking about full campus facilities, library, lecture halls, laboratories, full campus residences. So all of our campuses have student accommodation on campus, and we actually guarantee on-campus accommodation for our international students. The other thing I think that's fantastic about all these locations is not just the amazing campus that students have access to, but is the community. So there's obviously some fantastic regional benefits for international students looking to study regionally, so additional post-study work rights, but I think for us it's really around the community piece, that we've got really welcoming communities in our regional locations and really strong international diasporas that live and work in our areas.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. Yeah. I wish I would have known this before I did my bachelor's. Yeah.
There's always time for a master's.
Yeah. I've completed my master's too.
Oh, that too.
Yes.
PhD.
Definitely. So Australia has always been that country where I've always been it's kind of attractive for me. So yeah, hearing from your side also, it kind of interesting. Yeah, and I can definitely believe the students as well who's actually looking forward to study in Australia, and they're not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talking about CSU and the programs, are all of the programs available in all of the campuses that's available, or is it segregated in different campuses?
A really good question, something really important for students to know. Our one course which is available in all of our campuses is our Bachelor of Nursing, which is extremely popular with our Nepali students. So that's one which students can select across the campuses if they're wanting to start in semester 1, which commences in March. But Bachelor of Nursing is only available in Bathurst campus for our second semester, which is a July start for students. When you look across the other discipline areas, those are attached to specific campuses. So for example, if you look at our Wagga Wagga campus, that's where we have all of our agriculture, environmental science, equine, veterinary science programs. And we have over 2,000 hectares of land there at the Wagga campus. So we've got a whole digital farm, we've got massive equine and veterinary science facilities there. And then if you look at a campus like Port Macquarie, which is our coastal location, that has all of our information technology, business, and accounting courses delivered there. And then it also has things like paramedicine and physiotherapy and also nursing available. So definitely those niches, and one that would be exciting to share a bit more with you at some point is about our new Bachelor of Engineering Honors. And that's specifically just at the Bathurst campus, which is about 3.5 hours west of Sydney.
So you've already brought this one, the Bachelor of Engineering. So can you please share our viewers with the exciting thing that's available with this course?
Yeah, look, we're so excited. So we've had the Bachelor of Engineering Honours available for a long time for our Australian domestic students, but we have our first intake available for international students in March of 2026. So it's open for applications now. What's really exciting about this course is the structure of it. So it's a 4-year Bachelor of Engineering Honours, and you can select a specialization in either civil, mechanical, or electrical engineering. But the course is structured such that the first 2 years is coursework as well as practicals, and then the second 2 years is a paid internship, or what we call in Australia a co-op, a cooperative. And so students are then placed into an internship for that subsequent 2 years in their area of specialization. We organize that fully for them, so they don't need to find the engineering firm or business to do it with. We coordinate all of that. But it's a fantastic way to be getting all of those skills, also getting paid for the cooperative, the internship, but really preparing for going into careers.
Yeah, so we can assure our students that they're gonna get the paid internship without any hassle.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's really something that gets customized for each of the students. So again, if they're doing, say, civil engineering, they work with the course director and the placement team to make sure that the company, the engineering firm that they're going into, aligns with their specific interests, be that in construction engineering or in water engineering.
Yeah. So this might be an interesting course for the students as well. Yeah. And CSU has been in the Nepalese market for quite some time now. And so what are the most demanded course beside nursing? Is there any other course that's popular among the Nepalese student?
Absolutely. Certainly our IT courses, but I guess what I would highlight is we've got a Bachelor of Information Technology and a Master's of Professional Information Technology. But these aren't just generic IT degrees. We've got all of the cutting edge specializations that students are seeking and that employers are seeking. So things like in our Master of Professional Information Technology, we have artificial intelligence, we have cybersecurity, we have app development. So students get to select one of those specializations. And then also in the degree, and this goes across all Charles Sturt degrees, is that we have that work integrated learning embedded into the curriculum. So we make sure that that internship, that work integrated learning, is a part of the curriculum. So for example, for that Master's of Professional Information Technology, students are doing a 1-month internship as part of their degree. And again, we find that internship for them, but it's really getting them those skills they need. Another course which is really popular with our Nepali students are our agriculture courses, both at the bachelor's level, but also our Master of Agricultural Science. And that's got 3 specializations as well. So it has sustainable agricultural business, as well as digital agriculture. And that's one where we've seen some fantastic student outcomes. And then obviously really excited about the Bachelor of Engineering, and we think there will be a lot of students particularly interested in the civil engineering.
Yeah, so these days, young people have been not into like just sticking around the traditional courses. Like they want to study the course which is specific and gonna give them a skill that is into the specific topic, or the course that is actually interesting for them. The one that you talked about, the IT, I can already see so many young people getting into it. And talking about AI, so it's taking over all the internet and everything. So I think it's one of the most demanded course in the coming days, I guess. And I can already see the demand from the Nepalese market as well.
It's a fantastic one, and our course director, Dr. Sabi Riemann, is constantly involving industry into it as well. And so it's really staying on that cutting edge of what are employers who are doing cybersecurity specialization or who are doing network engineering. So they come in and do workshops and intensives. So not only is there the curriculum, but really bringing in that industry perspective. Which, as you say, that's what students are wanting to make sure that they're ready for that future workforce.
Yes, definitely. So it is actually also necessary in the professional market as well. So yeah, I've already seen the changes. So yeah, that's a quite interesting one, and thank you for sharing the demanding course, and it's interesting. So talking more about the tuition fee, does the tuition fee varies with the campuses and the courses, or is it the course tuition fee structure is similar?
So the tuition fee is attached to the specific course, but it's the same for any campus. So for example, for a nursing student, they're looking at a price point of about $32,000, and that's before scholarship, but that's the same irrespective of if they choose Albury, Wodonga, or Bathurst, or Port Macquarie. So it's based on the course that they select. Our tuition fees range from around $31,000 to up to around $38,000 per year. There are some exceptions to that. So some things like dental science and veterinary science are more like $70,000. So there's obviously highly specialized courses, but on average, looking from that low to higher $30,000. Again, it's before scholarship though, and so I think that's a really important thing. We pride ourselves on having scholarships available for our international students. We recognize that studying internationally is a really big expense and a big commitment for families. So all international students who meet our academic and English language proficiency requirements to the university receive a 10% international student support scholarship, and that's for the duration of studies. So that applies to every semester tuition fees automatically. And then for our merit students, we have our International Merit Scholarship, and that is to the value of 25%. And so to qualify for that scholarship, undergraduate students, so if they're applying from year 12, they need to have had 75%, which, correct me, in Nepal, 75% is like a 3.5 or so GPA. Roughly,
Yeah, roughly.
And that gets them the merit scholarship for undergraduate courses. And then for our postgraduate courses, so those master's courses in agricultural science and professional information technology, that is a 65% that they need to have obtained in their undergraduate course.
So, look, students, you guys have the opportunity to get into this scholarship opportunity as well. So, CSU, choose.
And I should have mentioned, Sophie, I was very remiss. One that's really exciting is our Vice Chancellor's International Excellence Scholarship. I should certainly mention this. It's a really prestigious scholarship that we have at Charles Sturt. It's to the value of 50% of tuition fees. And this is available for up to 5 international students in 2026. It is highly selective. Students need to have had a minimum of 80% in their previous studies, and they also need to be able to demonstrate their co-curricular activities and how they have had leadership roles in those. So if they apply to Charles Sturt, they have that 80% in their previous studies, we'll invite them to apply for the Vice Chancellor's International Excellence Scholarship, and then they need to submit an essay and supporting documentation to demonstrate how they've been highly involved in co-curriculars and ways that they would continue doing that at Charles Sturt.
Oh, wow. So 50% scholarship for those.
And that's for the duration of their studies as well. And I'll give out a positive message. So the scholarship is in its second year. So 2024, we had a Nepali student as one of our recipients. And then again this year in 2025, one of our recipients was Nepali as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
So congratulations. Yeah. So you can be the one, actually. If you're good with your academics and you actually have the zeal to study, then please do apply for this scholarship. Maybe you can get it. Yeah. So, so what are the English proficiency requirements and the academic requirements? The thing that you mentioned. What are the minimum requirements?
Absolutely. So, minimum requirements for English language proficiency, and this is for general entry requirements. I'll speak about nursing in just a moment because it's slightly different. But for our general courses like IT, accounting, agriculture, we have for undergraduate courses, it's 6.0, no band less than 5.5 in IELTS, and we take all of the equivalent tests such as PTE, TOEFL, and we'll soon be adding on some additional testings that we accept as well. And then for postgraduate, it is 6.5 with no band less than 6.0. And for academic entry requirements, I actually should talk about nursing. So nursing's different. It is set by ANMAC, which is the accrediting body. It's 7.0 overall, and then all bands need to be 7.0 with the exception of writing can be a 6.5.
Okay.
But that's set by ANMAC and is consistent to study nursing in Australia. In terms of academic entry requirements, we're looking at students who typically have a 2.6 in their in their high school to meet the academic requirements to come into undergraduate, and then would be looking at about a 2.7 for postgraduate.
Yeah. Also, for the academic requirements, will that is there any possibility of the students who's actually have an educational gap as well?
Yeah, so look, what we need to see is a quality career progression. So it really needs to make sense in terms of the profile of students. If they've taken a gap to go work, it should be something that makes sense in terms of that career progression. So for example, if we had a student who did their undergraduate degree in information technology here in Kathmandu or elsewhere in Nepal, but then has gone on to work and maybe is working in that IT field for a couple of years, we would still see that as then a clear progression to go through into a postgraduate degree in information technology. What wouldn't make sense from that career progression perspective is if, say, a student did a degree and then has gone on and done lots of random certifications and diplomas and things that aren't really helping them in terms of their career and in terms of staying within a field that's going to support them.
It does make sense. Yep, definitely. So the value that they've created for themselves for the career progression definitely matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. In regards to so many of the students have been asking us the questions regarding the GS requirement as well. Like, what is the current GS requirement at CSU?
Yeah. So look, I think one of the biggest things is that we're looking for a holistic, strong profile. We are definitely stricter at Charles Sturt than other Australian universities, but the fact is that we're getting fantastic visa outcomes. So we know that whilst our genuine student requirements are difficult, the reality is if students get a confirmation enrollment from Charles Sturt, they've got a really very, very strong chance of getting that visa. And obviously that's what we want, is students being able to come to Australia and study. So in terms of our overall GS, we are looking at students who, again, have that quality career progression, something that makes sense in terms of what they're wanting to do. The other factor is in terms of the financial side of things. We're wanting to ensure that the financials holistically make a strong picture, both in terms of either taking out an educational loan or having savings to support. So we do accept 100% educational loans from Nepal, but we also do accept a combination if a student wants to, say, have 75% of an education loan and 25% of family savings. We would also say in that financial space that students should be looking at their immediate family in terms of their sponsors. So that means it's a genuine access to those funds and people who would genuinely be supporting them. So looking at that immediate family as the sponsors, which then means the students have genuine access to those funds to support them.
Yeah, so suppose maybe some might have a saving, 100% of the saving as well. So is that acceptable if they have the genuine source coming in from?
Yes, we just need to see all of the documentation. This is where obviously the counseling team here at Access is really fantastic in supporting students. We need to see all the documentation, that we've got that clear picture of where the funds are coming from. If it's we need to be seeing bank account statements for at least 12 months prior, so we can see that those funds have been available, and also seeing the tax return documents, so it's clear in terms of the tax that's been paid, and obviously that all of the financial picture makes sense.
Yeah. So how long does it take to get the GS approval?
Yeah. Well, I might just talk about admissions overall. So this is one thing that we really pride ourselves on. We know how important quick turnarounds are, and I know Nepali students want something as soon as they've submitted it, they want that offer. So we really pride ourselves. We currently are doing admissions assessments in 24 to 48 hours. So that's for the initial admissions. That typically is going to be a conditional offer, which stipulates needing to pass the genuine student screening stage. But also if a student maybe has met our academic requirements but hasn't met our English language proficiency, they can still get that conditional offer, so they have something to work toward. And so they get that really quickly, and then it's a matter, as you say, of pulling together all of the documentation for the genuine student point. Once we have all of the financial documents, the statement of purpose, then we typically arrange an interview with the student within 1 week. That interview is really important because it's a key place for the student to be able to explain to us, again, why do they want to come study at Charles Sturt? Why do they want to be studying that specific course? Why do they want to be studying in, say, Port Macquarie or Bathurst? And again, this is what, as we look at it, really is that, test point, make sure a student really knows what their decision is. If they're confident in it, they'll sail through our interview stage, and that's setting them up really confidently for that interview with Department of Home Affairs as well.
Okay, so once we submit all of the documents, we'll have our interview scheduled, and then we can get the approval.
Yep, absolutely.
It's a green flag.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, that's so I've also faced few of my students who've actually prepared for the interview. So, and yes, that really helps the students to communicate well while they're there.
Yeah.
So I think that's a first phase of getting there.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
It is, and I think it's a great thing, again, for students to be clear on making, you know, that it is absolutely that right decision for them. And I think also getting them excited is the other thing is, yes, that, you know, hopefully they will be studying at Charles Sturt.
Yeah, so so talking overall about the CSU and everything, so as you've been a director for the marketing, so how would you give the recommendation to the students like who's actually looking forward to study in CSU and choosing their destination as Australia, like talking brief about the Australia and how will they benefit?
Yeah. One of the things I'd say, Sophie, is the quality of life is so good. It's just an amazing quality of life, particularly in our regional locations that we're located. I often laugh to colleagues because someone will come into the office and be like, oh, traffic was so bad this morning. And then you say, oh, how long did it take? And they're like, oh, it was like 15 minutes from the time I left my house. Exactly, I know. And you know, they say, oh, and I was at this roundabout for 2 minutes. There were like 5 cars in front of me. So it's just, you know, everything is really accessible. It's easy to get around. And also in our regional locations, it's a really good cost of living. So students are saving a lot of money by choosing to study regionally versus being in a big metropolitan. I mentioned about our on-campus accommodation that we have in all of our campuses, and the price point is really affordable. So again, students can choose whether to live on campus or off campus, but as an example, on-campus accommodation ranges from $180 a week, and that's for a private room, and it's really spacious. 1 bed, desk, wardrobe for 1 student, and then sharing washroom and, you know, kitchen and living space. Prices do go up to about $300 for students who want their own private apartment, what we call an ensuite. But again, that includes their water, their electricity, their Wi-Fi, their laundry, free car parking or scooter parking right outside. So those are things, whereas those, to get something similar in a big city, cost a lot more in Australia.
So you mentioned about the accommodation, and I believe the Charles Sturt University is very focused about the student life and the support as well. So considering the USPs, so can you please tell more about the student life and the support that our students get once they reach there from CSU?
Absolutely. I think that's one of the things, and why we do encourage students, at least for that first semester, to live on campus, is there's always things happening. You know, there's a free cafe session to come in and, you know, ask questions about getting part-time work and have a free lunch whilst doing it. There's a lot of student clubs on campus that students can be a part of, be that the rugby team or the football team, cricket team, so lots of activities. So those are all there. The other thing is we have a lot of different workshops that we run for students. So one of the ones that is really popular with our international students is the Earn As You Learn program. So we do for students a 2-day workshop, and this is making sure that they have a CV or resume which will be suitable in the Australian market, and also helping them prepare for a job interview. A lot of students haven't had that first part-time job, and obviously haven't undertaken an interview in Australia. So doing a bit of mock interviewing so they know the types of questions that an employer is going to ask them, and making sure then that we get them that great part-time job. I think the other aspect that I would say is just the amazing international student support team that we have. I think it's actually a massive benefit of studying in regional and at a university that has a large international student body population, but we don't have 35,000 because you're actually known as a person. So when you walk into the International Student Support Office, I say, "Morning, Sophie. How are you? It's so good to see you. What can I help you with this morning?" Versus, "Oh, could you please scan your student ID card?" "Oh, hi, Sophie. It's nice to meet you. How can I help you?" So it's really personal. Students are known as an individual, and the support team is there for them for whatever they might need. So if they're struggling on assessment, getting them connected in with our academic skills team for a one-on-one appointment. If they're a bit homesick, getting them connected in with our counseling team to receive a bit more additional support. And then things that just make a difference. For example, when students arrive, they just need to let us know how they're going to be arriving into our campus location. So plane, train, automobile, bus. Provide us those details, and then the international student support team actually picks up the student, be that at the airport, the train station, and gets them to their accommodation. If they need to go get a SIM card along the way, takes them by the phone store. So really just helping them feel settled in.
Yes. A lot of things covered. Yeah. So we can always believe in the student support team, like before sending the student from Nepal. And also, my last question. So I was curious about the class ratio. How is the ratio of the student, like Nepalese student, how the cross-cultural environment of CSU?
Yeah, I think that's again one of those other things that is really exciting for an international student is while we've got a great diversity of international students, we majority have Australian domestic students. So they're going to be in a classroom with a range of nationalities, but also a lot of Aussies. So they get to pick up on the, Aussie slang. They'll have somebody offering to, have them for a barbecue or go take them out surfing. So really getting, to know a lot about the local culture as well. In terms of nationalities, if they are feeling homesick, I'm here to tell you that Nepalis are our #1 international students at Charles Sturt. So over 60% of our international students are Nepalis.
Wow.
So anytime somebody's, needing to have a, bit of banter or feeling a bit homesick, they'll definitely have Nepali friends on campus who are helping them feel welcome and supported. And that's not just on campus, but as I say, also in the community. We've got a lot of Nepali groceries and restaurants available as well now in our communities. But we've got a range of nationalities, everything from Nepali to Indian to Filipino to Vietnamese to Thai to Chinese to Kenyan to French. So a really diverse student body population.
Wow, that's quite interesting for the students as well. Yeah, I wish I was younger. it kind of like whenever I'm talking with you, like I'm just imagining like the whole classroom setup and everything, and I'm excited for the ones who's actually looking forward to study in Australia as well.
I know, believe me.
Yes.
I often go on campus and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so much better than when I was in college. The accommodation is amazing. It's so spacious. The classrooms are state of the art. The library's got like nooks that you can go do your study in and get a little booth to, work at. And then awesome food available on campus as well.
Well, thank you so much for sharing the beautiful things about CSU, and also like I'm excited, and I'm sure that our viewers are also excited about the knowing more about CSU and learning there. And do you have anything to share with the viewers at last?
I think I would just say thanks so much for considering Charles Sturt University for your future studies. As I have mentioned, just a range of fantastic disciplines and great scholarships available. And I think really consider that Charles Sturt University is Australia's best value university. So making sure that that money that you and your family are spending on your tuition fees is setting you up for that fantastic career and graduate employability. And certainly it's a very welcoming and friendly place where international students and certainly Nepalis are very welcome and supported.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for being here and sharing your information with us and helping our student make their decision, one of the hardest decision, I believe. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing the information.
Thanks
and thank you for being the part of the show as well. I'm really happy, and I'm really happy to share the same screen with you.
Oh, thanks so much for having me, Sophie. And thanks everyone for listening. I hope this has been helpful for you, and really all the best with your decision making and future career studies.
Yep. Hope to see you in another episode as well when you come to Nepal again. And I'm ready to welcome you again and share more updated information that's there. And yeah, so see you guys in another video. And yeah, bye-bye and namaste.
See ya.
See ya.